citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
Design a vaccine for every individual person, that mRNA vaccine. You can make that robotically, again using AI, in about 48 hours.
The first thing a country needs to do is to unify all of their data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. We provide context. When we want to ask a question, we've provided that AI model with all the data they need to understand our country.
For 2,000 years, we were a stateless people. Love the country of Israel, and we'll do everything we can to support the country of Israel.
We've been collecting this information for so long, and long before NSA was collecting it. Let me tell you who was collecting it. American Express, Bank of Visa, all of your credit card data. We have all of your financial records.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasher Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwat, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity. I want to go into a lesson, all right, concerning the son of perdition being revealed. For those who do not know, all right, the son of perdition, all right, the wicked being revealed is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, beginning with their elites. All right, so I don't want anyone to get it confused to say that this person in particular is the son of perdition. No, the so-called white man as a nation of people are the wicked in the Bible. All right, let's go here real quick before I focus in on Larry Ellison. This is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, and whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. All right, so there's a nation of people that the Lord has indignation with forever. And that nation, whether the world knows it or not, is the so-called white man. Their biblical nationality is Edom, Esau. All right. Now, I want to go into Larry Ellison in particular, all right, because he is a part of the tech giants, all right, the Silicon Valley tech bros, if you will. And he's another part of the building of the beast system. All right, when you deal with the surveillance, when you deal with the software needed for this type of surveillance. These are the guys that Trump is leaning on to build that digital infrastructure. All right. And the scriptures talked about how the wicked had to be revealed. All right. So as we learn who we are as a nation of people, all right, we're also able to identify who the wicked is according to the scriptures. All right. So let's go back to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Again, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. All right, so this God complex, all right, is being made manifest with the so-called white man, beginning with their elites, all right, and their intentions for the world with the use of technology. All right, because technology in of itself isn't bad, but the people who have it and have control of it, all right, are the wicked, which is why the technology is being used for all malicious activities. All right, let's go here real quick before I continue. This is Job 9 and 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Just picture that. A nation of people who became the top nation on earth through rape, robbery, and murder is now going to police the world and decide who is considered a terrorist and who isn't. The same nation of people that gave the so-called Native Americans, all right, who are Israelites, smallpox blankets, pretending to help them, is now telling you that you should get a vaccine from them. The same nation that performed the Tuskegee experiments, that tried to make women in Africa sterile, is not telling you that they're going to give you a jump shot that's going to help you. And these are the ones that are in control of the resources. All right, so you're starting to see the God complex manifest itself. All right, and they're using the vehicle of technology to bring these things forth. All right, because the surveillance state is coming. You can argue that it's already here. It's just not baked into the system yet. You know, one example I brought up earlier this week is social media policies, where companies are now saying their employees can't post whatever they want to post if it reflects bad on their company. All right. And that's censorship in a country that so-called had free speech. And see, those things are now being taken away without people even realizing it. All right. And this guy, Larry Ellison, is one of those instrumental figures in building the infrastructure for this beast system. All right. Which is going to be a digital control grid. All right. Now let's go here real quick. I just pulled up his Google. All right. Larry Ellison, Chief Technological Officer of Oracle. All right. It says Lawrence Joseph Ellison is an American entrepreneur and the co-founder of Oracle Corporation, a leading enterprise software company. All right. Now let's get this and let's look up the Oracle Corporation. All right. We're just going to go to the website. All right. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Innovations Power Next Generation AI. All right. So these are tech guys that are all in conspiracy together. All right. Because ultimately the elites are pushing the vibration, all right, of this digital grid. And this is why this guy has been seen on this clip making these speeches all across the planet about the necessity for a surveillance system, the necessity for mRNA vaccines, which basically alter your DNA. All right, among other things. And this is where the world is headed, whether people like it or not. And see, the wicked had to be revealed before the end came. All right. And now we're in a time through the spirit where it's undeniable. All right. Let's get this. I just want to get a little bit more information on this one. All right. Here we go. So one of the statements you saw in the clip, this article is going to hyper focus on. It says Larry Ellison once predicted citizens will be on their best behavior amidst constant recording. Now his company will play a key role in social media. All right. Now I'm going to continue. It says a year ago, Oracle co-founder and chairman Larry Ellison described a future where everyone, including law enforcement, will face regular surveillance as daily life is documented seemingly nonstop. All right. And this goes into the God complex, because the Lord has the angels. The eyes of the Lord are in every place. And Esau, the so-called white man, is attempting to mimic the same thing using technology with AI as a taskmaster. All he has to do is build the digital infrastructure. Then you put AI into it as a taskmaster. And now you have an automated prison. All right, continuing, it says, at Oracle's financial analyst meeting last September, he predicted artificial intelligence will help process the vast amounts of footage recorded by cameras placed on everything from car dashboards and front doors to security systems and cops. We're going to have supervision, Ellison said. Every police officer is going to be supervised at all times. And if there's a problem, AI will report that problem and report it to the appropriate person. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we are constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. All right. And remember, according to the scriptures, all right, because the Lord told us first, let's get this. It says 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So they're going to try to sell this using the idea of peace and safety, of security, of convenience, of gradualism. But people often forget the history of the so-called white man and what he's done on the planet to get where he is. And the reality is that he's never changed. He's not even good at hiding it, but if you want to make that argument, he just got better at concealing his hate. But this is who's in control. And he's presenting things as peace and safety, but this is the same man that took peace from the earth. Matter of fact, let's go there. This is Revelation chapter 6 and 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And that's the real red man, which is the so-called white man. People often forget his history when they listen to him talk about peace and safety. There's nothing peaceful and safe about the so-called white man. And just because they crouch themselves and they speak softly, a lot of people get that confused with the reality of their own history. That's why we can see, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. The Lord has given the elect the ability to see through the veneer of kindness that the so-called white man presents, because we understand that that hatred is still buried deep inside of him. All right, now let's continue. It says, Salakia. Let me just jump down to the point. All right, it says those comments have gained fresh relevance now that his company has emerged as a major player in the AI industry and is poised to play a critical role in the deal of TikTok's U.S. operations. TikTok's video sharing platform is among the most popular social media properties in the country. Oracle didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. All right, so they're going to get involved with TikTok. And if you look at his politics, of course, like most of these guys, they are heavy supporters of those Israelis, the small hats. So great censorship is coming to social media, even more so than it already is. And it's because the narrative has been lost by the so-called white man. So now he has to place certain restrictions out here, including censorship and the basically the famine of the word is going to start with Esau taking away that free speech. Once you see free speech taken away, because it's already being censored, but once you see free speech really taken away, you know, that's basically the prelude to the famine of the war of the word. You can even say it's a part of the famine of the word, because the truth was never meant to be this accessible forever. And the Lord is really putting a spirit on guys like Larry Ellison, Peter Thiel, and all of these guys under Trump, the tech bros, to roll this system out, because the Lord said his words would not return unto him void. And this digital grid is going to be that control mechanism. All right. Which brings us to Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right. This is Revelation chapter 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. And we go into this often. When you go into that word killed, all right, it goes into not just killing a physical death, but also a separation. Meaning if you're not tapped into the control grid, you're separated by default. And if you don't play nice, if you don't agree with what the so-called white man is doing, if you speak up against him, he can just lock you out of the grid. He had ways of doing that before, but this way is going to be automated. When you deal with Palantir, which is another subject, but dealing with Peter Thiel, Palantir is a data aggregation company. They take a bunch of data and then they condense it and summarize it so that the defense contractors or government can determine the threat level of somebody without having to go through WhatsApp messages and Instagram posts. The Palantir will gather all of that data for them and then condense it down and summarize it and give them something that they can use. So these are CEOs of these big companies, but it's all moving toward one thing, and that's that the image, this digital Rome being made manifest. And instead of being physically crucified, you'll be digitally crucified, meaning you'll just be cut out. You'll be X'd out. If you don't want to play ball, you'll just be removed. And guys like Larry Ellison are painting this like it's a good thing. But when you understand the so-called white man's history, you understand that that is the deception they're going to use to get in the door. Just like with Trump, you know, he spoke to the average poor and middle class so-called white person to convince them that he was going to restore white privilege. And what he did was he got in there and made their lives even harder. Because even the stamps being cut off in November potentially is going to affect more Edomites than so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But again, this all goes back to who the wicked is and the son of perdition. The wicked had to be revealed. And the so-called white man is being revealed in these last days. All right, now real quick, I'm going to end it with this. This 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 7, it says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." All right. And who's the Lord's mouth? It's the mouth of the prophets. And this is how we're able to tie the so-called white man back to his biblical nationality. Because people in the world just say, oh, the wicked, you know, the elites. Nah, there's a biblical origin to this. There's a family on the earth that the Lord has indignation with forever. And that family is known as the wicked. And now it's being revealed based on their actions, not our words. Everything that they're doing coincides with the mark of the beast system coming to life. And the scriptures talk about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, being in rulership right before Jacob would have rulership. All right. And the head of Jacob's rulership is Yahushua, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus. It's 2 Esdras 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that word world goes back to age. So we're at the end of an age. Because Esau is going to attempt to bring this plan to life, but the Lord's going to destroy it. His whole plan, he's going to get close to it, but he's going to be destroyed. His whole plan is going to be destroyed. He's going to go into captivity for 1,000 years, and then he's going to be destroyed. As a family of people, they're going to be removed off the earth, thus saith the scriptures. But the wicked had to first be revealed. And now he's being revealed by the spirit of the Lord's mouth, which are his prophets. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yahshua Allah. And a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word and all truth and its sincerity.